Have you seen Three Amigos?
No. Is that like you, Sebastian, and Kyle?
It's from it's Chevy Chase, right?
Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short.
I've seen that. And we're in the ballpark now.
Yeah, well, yeah. We're here to talk about
It's holiday special, our first holiday special.
real holiday
Yay.
special. We're talking about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the only real Thanksgiving movie. It's the only one.
Hot take.
You can come up with any other one that might be on some
Is there a
list.
Harry Potter?
I have one.
What do you got?
Charlie Brown.
Oh.
This turkey or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Charlie Brown.
But he's not a whole movie, and it's animated, so discount.
Yeah, it's true. There's not a lot of Thanksgiving movies. It's shit tons of Christmas.
Yeah, there's some
Couple
list
Halloween.
online.
Halloween has
Yeah.
a big old category.
Mm-hmm.
Those are kind of the most, right?
I think so. Yeah, I was thinking like New Year's, but I don't think there's like a New Year's.
No,
Maybe
not
some
really.
kind of weird. Yeah, get up on in it.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
Hey,
You too, little one.
Here you.
Oh.
That was the first thing that popped in my head when we watched this, and we won't dive in too early. But I was thinking that same thing. There's not a lot of Thanksgiving movies. Is there a Harry Potter one, or is it always at Christmas? Because they've been having a couple feasts.
I think it's just Christmas.
Yeah, I
It's
think
mostly
just Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's England.
Well, it is.
It's Hogwarts.
Yeah, it's Hogwarts.
I saw the Hogwarts train. It was in Scotland, but yeah.
Oh, see, then we're not even.
They're Scottish.
Well,
Canada's
that's just
got
where the
Thanksgiving.
train is.
Canada's got Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, because New World and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Well, Old World, I don't think they celebrate Thanksgiving because,
Well, I mean, Hogwarts is old world.
yeah, they're not happy we survived, though. That's the.
Hogwarts?
No.
Oh, the English?
The Old World is not happy that the New World survived.
I just
just
figure
wanna
We've
when
just
we're
been
in,
competition from day one.
I just figure when we're in fantasy world, anything goes. You know,
Oh, yeah.
True.
For sure.
like obviously the writers from the UK, but who knows where Harry's from?
Well, I think he's from the UK.
He can be
I
from
don't know.
Brooklyn, getting sturdy. You never
Could
know.
be from Brooklyn. You could be from Brooklyn.
I don't know. The Fantastic Beasts movies are all in the United States. Well, they started in the United States. I think the
Yeah.
first one's in the United States. I don't know.
I still couldn't even get into those. Harry Potter is my favorite shit to watch around this season, though.
Mm-hmm.
Home Alone shit. There's a bunch of new ones randomly. Normally there's not. I feel like a bunch of new ones, and like you just watch Home Alone and Elf and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Yeah.
watched. It was utter complete trash. Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, that
think
looked
I
like
saw-
trash.
I was hoping, it
Wait.
was an actual musical.
I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what that is.
It's you don't know what a musical is?
No, but what movie you're talking? You didn't even
Oh,
name the movie. You
I
just
don't know
named
what the
two
fuck it's
actors.
It's like
called.
on Apple TV.
It's brand
right?
new.
Or am I
It
tripping?
just dropped right now, like last week. Probably.
Yeah,
I don't
think
know
I
what it's
saw.
on. And it's an actual musical. They started singing in the beginning. I was like, oh, this is just gonna be a joke. And they're like, no, this is a real musical. They like say that in there, and then the whole thing's a musical.
That just sounds
Yeah, that
like
doesn't
a
sound too
disaster
good.
to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds
why.
like a disaster movie waiting to happen.
I want it to be good.
Sometimes those are fun to watch. Disaster movies.
You want to sing what like
Just like how ridiculous.
Final Destination?
Oh no.
Not
no,
like
no, no.
trash movies,
Like
like
trash
trashy
movies.
movies.
Yeah.
Final Destination's a disaster movie. But
I know, but
well, I just got your ass with your own joke.
The
wasn't even a
disasters are pretty
joke.
personal.
That was a joke.
no, I wasn't even making a joke.
No, I did.
No, he's
I'm the
getting
funny
you,
one.
Yeah.
With your poor
I'm
dad
the funny one
jokes.
now.
Oh, well, that wasn't funny.
Well, you know.
Anyway, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is from John Hughes, who a lot of people know from the Home Alone franchise. Some of us who've been around a little longer know him from.
As a director? No.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he directed. He wrote them.
Is this has to be before Home Alone, eh?
This is before Home Alone. Yes.
A?
He wrote.
Canadian?
He wrote Home Alone. Did he direct it? Who directed Home Alone?
I don't know if it's a hot take, but Home Alone 2 is better than Home Alone 1.
I think that is a hot take.
Is
I
it?
haven't watched the second one, but
No way.
there's
Why you sound like that? No way.
no way. Eh?
running
Canadian.
around New York is the dopest version.
Yeah,
It's so good.
we should
That's
sit
the
down
second
and
one?
watch them.
Yeah, he's in the hotel and shit.
Yeah.
We always say we're gonna watch things together, but we never do. So
Then I
let's
get
just not
sick.
get my hopes
Yeah,
up.
then I get sick of you guys and don't want to see you.
Yeah.
Damn,
it's
what
fair.
do we do?
Me and Seabass watched. I was thinking about doing it for this podcast, but it just didn't go where I wanted. The
Oh, the
steroid murder thing.
yeah,
Oh.
Kelly or something like that.
I know he's your favorite. It's fine.
Steroid murder. What?
It's like some murder mystery, and it was about a bodybuilder. So like, it's the first episode I loved because it was more about that, and then it dives into some twists. and
Oh
turns,
yeah, no, I
murderous.
think I heard a review of that.
Yeah.
It wasn't very.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It just turns into like every murder mystery
a-
ever,
yeah.
and that's just not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with here now that we got a lady on? What the fuck is up with every lady loving murders and like killers and like some scary shit?
True crime.
Yeah, what's
and-
wrong with you?
Like in love with those people?
Or those shows
No,
and
yeah,
those
just-
people, I think
Oh,
too. I
'cause-
think there's a weird thing there, but they all love those shows.
Is it just like a ladies thing? What do
Yeah,
you mean? Like,
100%.
I mainly just see it in women. I'm not gonna
Oh.
lie.
well, I don't know.
Like true crime podcasts are really big.
I do
and-
listen to them. I
and
do. Yeah.
And the majority of the audience is female.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
didn't know
saying
that
no
part.
dudes don't like that stuff,
Right, but
chicks love that shit.
I didn't know it was like more common in women to like
Yeah.
those things. Like you just told me now, but I couldn't explain it to you. I just think it's interesting.
I thought you wanted to represent all womankind here, but
Maybe it has to do with like diving into the psyche of these like murderers. Does that make sense?
yeah, you're playing with fire a little bit.
What do you mean?
Playing with fire means that like you're interested, but you're scared, but you want to touch a little bit.
Get your heart running a little
Yeah.
bit.
I feel like I don't know. Personally, I like to dive into like why, like as me as an individual, why I do things and why I think things and da da da.
Are you a
And then it's
murderer?
cool- No, but it's cool to see like the thought process or how one becomes like that.
Yeah.
Which a lot of times in these podcasts will explain like what their childhood was like and then like how they kind of developed into someone who kills people. But
True.
yeah, that's what I like.
Do you compare your childhood to like?
Yeah,
their
that's why
childhood?
I'm
Oh,
gonna.
okay.
I'm
just
building
are
my story.
You're hyper analyzing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
The
so-
ultimate
Yeah, yeah.
murderer.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've never really watched any of those. I watched Dexter.
I didn't watch Dexter because I didn't have Showtime. So.
Yeah, I like Dexter.
I
You seen-
didn't.
You didn't like it?
No, it was a bit too much for me. He's kind of like too creepy.
No, but he's kind of nice. He's a good murderer.
It's too confusing. Like the way that he narrates,
Oh yeah,
it's
because you're
just-
hearing his thoughts.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't know why I kind of like him because he does do good. He has a moral code.
I gotta
Oh,
try
okay.
watching it again.
That's like the whole. I don't think it's a spoiler. He's a serial killer.
Mhm.
He works for forensics
Yeah.
as a blood analyst, but his stepdad was a cop, so his dad was the only one that knew he was a murderer, and he was built with a moral code because his dad put it in him. So his dad knew he couldn't stop him from killing folks, so he's
So-
like, all right, you need this criteria before you kill somebody.
Oh.
What criteria?
Like if they're a bad human, basically.
Oh,
But he has a bunch of stuff that he goes by in his head, and he kind of talks through it each season or whatever.
right. It's like it's confusing because he's serial killery with those thoughts, like how he talks about it.
Yeah.
But then he's also like a good person, so it's like conflicting in my brain. Like, do I like this guy or not?
No, yeah,
And
it's
it
good.
just
That's
creeps
why I
me
like
out.
it. That's why I
Yeah.
like it. But then talk about like psyche stuff. He goes deep into that too. Like talks about how he doesn't feel things. Like so he's dating someone and you can't feel it. Like he's an actual sociopath.
Yeah, that creeps me out.
Shit.
Yeah, well, they're among us.
And you're
They
trying
are
to turn
among
into
us.
one, aren't
Sitting
you?
right next to one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Yep.
Yeah, you live with one.
Yeah. That's why we don't hang out outside of the gym.
Because you're a killer,
Yeah,
and I
she's
don't
out
want to
there
die.
killing.
Okay. Anyways,
Well, there are no killers in this movie.
Yeah, it was
This
less
movie.
exciting.
In this movie, yeah.
I'll get back to that one.
Okay. So the things that he directed: Weird Science, Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and you can feel some Ferris Bueller in this one for sure,
Haven't watched that one yet.
and some of the same cast. She's having a baby with Kevin Bacon.
Kevin
Who
Bacon's
is
in this for
who
a
is
second.
in
Yeah,
this
that-
movie
Nice
at
little
the
cameo.
beginning,
Yeah.
and the when the wife is at home watching TV, waiting for her husband Steve Martin to get home.
Mm-hmm.
The movie that she's watching is She's Having a Baby, which hadn't been
Oh.
released yet.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's
Yeah, it's a
pretty
good-
fire.
Wow,
Easter
Easter
egg.
egg.
Yeah, Easter egg, and then Uncle Buck with John Candy
Yep, I've seen that.
and Curly Sue, which I never saw.
I think I might have seen that too.
And he wrote the National Lampoon Vacation shows, and he wrote Home Alone.
There's probably a Thanksgiving there, right? I'm sure there's a
I don't know. I thought
fucking
they were-
Lampoon for everything.
I thought they were all. Oh yeah. Oh, you mean National Lampoon?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's like a 4th of July one. There's a
He wrote the Beethoven movies about the big dog.
yeah, I've seen those. Those are like Disney Channel shits.
He wrote Flubber.
Flubber's a banger. You guys seen Flubber?
Nah.
It's familiar. Is it?
Come on.
It's like this product thing. Or
Yeah.
Is it animated?
Maybe.
Is it no? Because like it's an object
It's special effecty. Robin Williams. Yeah.
that becomes
Yeah.
animate.
Yeah,
or
and
whatever.
it's actually like a reboot of another Disney movie
Oh, I didn't know that.
with the same name.
Shout out to Robin Williams.
R.I.P.
Flubber's good, dude.
He wrote the screenplay for the live action 101 Dalmatians,
Oh.
Miracle on 34th Street, Dennis the Menace,
Wow,
around the same time as Home Alone.
what a repertoire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but a lot of his movies have some of the similar qualities where, like, obviously in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, not everything that happens is like plausible in the real world,
Yeah, for sure.
especially the extent to which they just keep happening to the same people in kind of a Final Destination sort of way.
Yeah, kind of in a comedic version.
Yeah. Yeah. Where
A
there's,
lighthearted.
yeah.
That was just, I feel like, before we dive in, let's take a quick commercial break. We're diving into Thanksgiving holiday movie, the one and only Trains, Planes, Automobiles. The only thing I could think about this whole time was how comedy goes through like phases.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
the comedy that happens here is the same comedy, but like a family or mild version of like Chris Farley also.
Yeah.
Right? Like, is it Black Sheep or Tommy Boy? Where
Tommy
they're,
Boy,
yeah,
I
they're
think,
right, and there's the fucking elk in the back of the seat or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's blowing up the car. It's the same thing as dude's cigarette blowing up the car.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of nowhere. They hate each other. Then they have to go to a hotel room together.
Right.
Literally, like step by step, shit like that happens in Black Sheep.
Yeah.
Like some of it's predictable, but like I guess maybe I wonder it's because I've seen a lot of movies that are like that. I wonder if you go to the movie theater and what's happening in Trains, Planes, Automobiles is so unpredictable to you.
Oh, like you couldn't tell what was coming next?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I only had one moment like that in the whole thing, and it's also the only moment in the whole film that made me laugh literally out loud.
Yeah.
And I don't know why this kind of thing always makes me laugh or gasp or whatever, because there's a kind of similar scene in The Dark Knight. Remember when the 18-wheeler like does a flip over in this movie when they are driving the wrong way on the freeway at night, and when they stop, the trunk in the back is just fucking yeeted off the back of the car,
Breaks a metal trunk door.
and it flashes them as skeletons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then like
And
an
then-
angry like
and then
devil.
devil
and then
one,
John
yeah.
Candy's dressed
Yeah.
in a Halloween costume of the devil, and then it all comes back to normal. I laughed out loud. That's fucking hysterical. It's like so unreal, but like maybe in the moment you'd be so caught up in it that you would think those things.
That
It's
caught
so-
me off guard for sure. It was just like I didn't expect. You didn't really have any of that throughout the entire film until that point, and it's like,
Yeah.
where did that come from?
Like, what was going through their head when they were doing that?
That's a really good question. I don't know.
When it
Yeah.
first showed like this flash of the skeleton, I was like, what was that? And then it kind of goes into the whole devil thing, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't.
It's just it's so fast. It's almost subliminal, but it
And then it doesn't. None of that happens for the rest of the movie,
No.
which
Yeah.
is the best part. It's
Yeah,
like
it is
that
its
was
own
it.
tone.
it's a little Beetlejuicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Oh,
little bit.
yeah.
that's
Similar
what I was
era
thinking.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
was
of the
funny.
similar era.
Yeah.
That just fucking killed me. I had totally forgotten that scene, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks this time when I watched it last night.
Yeah, a lot of it I feel like is just like a particular style of humor. And then like after that slowly came like, and before that too, but after that also there's a phase of like major slapstick stuff. And
All the Jim Carrey movies.
yeah, Adam Sandler-y,
Yeah.
even though he's like half and half, and Jim Carrey's half and half too, but Jim Carrey's pretty slapstick. And then it gets into like, and maybe it is just like when you're born. Like maybe it's just what I grew up in with what I find funny or what I don't find funny. Even though I watched a lot of this stuff growing up, and my dad was into some like fucking similar 70s, 80s shit, like Police Academy and Nerds and all that shit. Like even this, I told you I'd never seen it, but I had seen parts of it for sure. Like my dad for sure had it on TNT or some shit on the weekend, and I'd seen clips. I just never watched it front to back. Where like that era is so different than like a Vince Vaughn era or whatever it might be, you know, comedy wise. That I've seen a lot of these, and like maybe just to me that they're so similar. Maybe they don't make me laugh or like predictable in my head. But again, maybe that's just because I grew up surrounded by this stuff. Like every movie you just named that dude did is always on Disney Channel my entire childhood.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure that's.
You know what I mean? Like fucking Dennis the Menace and all that shit.
Yeah. 16 Candles to me is remarkable for the 1994 Porsche that's in it.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Very iconic Porsche. You can buy them relatively cheaply now. I'm sure that won't be the case forever because they always go through cycles. And it being like that movie has some racist overtones now that it could never get made like that again.
It's a comedy?
Yeah. But there's a character named Long Duck Dong.
Nice.
Yes.
Right, I've heard of that before.
Yes, and
I haven't seen the movie.
All the Asian stereotypes that they use against the guy, not to his face. It's all sort of behind his back, but just things that couldn't work now. This guy also wrote. You guys have heard of Animal House?
Yeah, I've seen Animal House.
National Lampoon's Animal House.
I don't think
it's about like a frat.
Yeah, John Belushi.
Have you seen Old School?
No.
Old School is way newer. That's why I brought it up. And Old School is from like 2007 or something. But Old School is kind of like the modern day version of Animal House.
Yeah. Well, he didn't write that, but he wrote for the TV version that they tried to do called Delta House. Basically, it's like a really, really out of control fraternity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But what makes it crazy is like all the guys in it died in real life from like overdoses. So like they're kind of being themselves.
Shit.
Kind of,
yeah. Okay.
They're like crazy. Just like crazy. You know, like Chris Farley?
Animals. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that kind of humor-ish, right? Belushi, somewhere in that pocket.
Yeah.
Older, but similar, where they're just kind of like wild. They're like literally just wild people.
Wild
I think a lot of comedians are like that. Like comedy's different now, like stand-up comedians and actors and stuff, because there's like so much money and like the craft has been honed in so much. But I feel like back in the day, a lot of like the biggest comedians, actors, or stand-up were just like the craziest motherfuckers. Yeah, they would just do and say shit that we wouldn't say and do, and now they're doing it on stage in front of people.
And a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like they're just all like every single one had a cocaine problem. Name one. Tim Allen. Yeah. Fucking like everybody.
Tim Allen, who was in prison for selling cocaine.
Even though I think that was before his career.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I think it was before he was famous, but yeah, everyone kind of has that path. And it's similar now, I guess. It's not that different.
Have like a crazy job. I guess you could say like job.
Yeah, it's like but they didn't have money though.
Oh, okay.
Like being a rich comedian's like kind of newer,
like new age shit, like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, no, Joe Rogan's a fucking anomaly. That dude's filthy rich. Yeah. I mean, he's probably the richest comedian of all time.
Him and Seinfeld.
Yeah, he might beat him. He's getting probably $200K an episode on podcasts, let alone 200 mil from Spotify, let alone the 2 big TV shows he was in. I bet you it's close.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt he's getting much off of anything but Fear Factor, TV wise.
Fear Factor is probably a shit ton, but what News Radio was big for his time.
It was, but he was a more minor character, but in an ensemble. He wasn't a lead character at all. Yeah, he's good in that show. I mean, I've
never seen it.
It's on. I want to say it's on Paramount Plus or something. But I've watched through the first like 2 seasons recently. It's fucking hysterical.
Yeah,
it's really funny. In that, sometimes a little slapsticky, but mostly it's just really snarky.
Is that same era? Is that like Frasier, Seinfeld era?
Pre-Seinfeld, I think. That's a good question.
Yeah, because I never saw it. I just assumed 90s.
Yeah, it was 90s, I think. And then the super sad thing about that was 95 on News Radio. Stephen Root, who's been in everything now. I don't know if you watch Barry on HBO
I think I've seen it.
about the sociopathic serial killer.
I think I've seen it. It's this SNL guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's super fucked up, but it's really good. But Stephen Root is in that. He's been in everything, in everything. Andy Dick, though, was in that show, and apparently Andy Dick was responsible for getting Phil Hartman was murdered by his wife during the run of News Radio, and so he ended up getting replaced by John Lovitz. And apparently Andy Dick was responsible for getting cocaine for Phil Hartman's wife, who then killed him. So
nice.
But Rogan is actually very good on that show, and he's the handyman, but he's like super smart, and nobody realizes how super smart he is until he opens his mouth and starts talking about whatever thing.
Yeah, what's ever going on.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You guys ever seen a movie or show with John Candy or Chevy Chase?
No. I don't
Those
watch
guys-
a lot of movies.
Yeah.
But did you recognize their faces or not?
Nope.
Really?
I did recognize the older guy. What's his name?
Chevy
Steve-
Chase.
no,
Steve
Steve
Martin.
Martin.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
why I keep
Steve
saying
Martin.
Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
They're the same in my
I
head.
recognized him.
Oh, they're so not the same though, because Steve Martin's a good guy and Chevy Chase is a piece of shit.
Oh, what, IRL?
Yeah. Community. He was on Community.
I don't know
And
if I've seen
everyone just talks about what a dick he was
Really?
the whole time. Yeah.
Unfortunate.
That's his most recent thing. Steve Martin's most recent thing is Only Murders in the Building, which is on Hulu right now and has been super popular and shares, I think, some DNA with this kind of comedy. It's not as slapstick, but it's still pretty broad.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, and it's Martin Short, who was in, like you said, Three Amigos, and Selena Gomez, and yeah.
What's Three Amigos? Why'd you bring it up?
Because it's the same actors.
Oh.
Or like same genre.
Yes.
Very slapstick.
Yeah.
Super. It's about three guys who were like movie stars, silent movie stars, right?
Yeah. I don't even remember. I saw it a long ass time ago.
And then they end up having an adventure that's like what would have been like an episode for them. Like, and it wasn't TV. It was I want to say it was like serials,
Maybe,
like,
yeah.
like movie serials, like Raiders of the Lost Ark. We're deep into film history here. Raiders of the Lost Ark and Star Wars are based on a kind of film that used to be shown all the time. They were serials. They were short episodes. They were like 20, 30 minutes or whatever.
Okay.
And then like the next time you went to the movies, you would see that and it would run in front of the feature.
Oh, okay. So it's like a pre-show.
Yeah. It would run, and the feature would be about something else altogether. So you would just see this serial, and you would have to keep going back to the movies to find
see
out
the
what
next
happened
episode.
next. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That sounds kind of.
Interesting.
I
yeah.
like that.
Because like cable
I like
TV
that.
and shit wasn't.
Yeah. There was no TV
Yeah.
at the point that.
Yeah, there was like news. And
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah. So yeah, it was based on stuff from the 30s.
I wonder why they took that away.
I know you think it'd be a good move. I think
Yeah.
there's just too many companies out there, right? So like, who would show what in front of what? Like
Yeah.
Oh.
pure
There's just
business
one.
wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where back in the day, there's probably only like 2 or 3 producers of movies, or maybe
That makes
more.
sense.
But
They
you know
all
what I
kinda
mean?
just collab.
Yeah,
oh, let's
like
make
you're not
this,
gonna
let's
allow
make that.
DC to make a short that shows in front of a Marvel thing, right?
True.
Like,
Yeah, that's true. Although a lot of the studios owned their own theaters back in the day. Like you still see
so
some
that probably played a big role.
some
too.
say that
Yeah.
say Fox.
Yeah.
They still say Fox, but they're not owned by Fox anymore. But they were back then.
Yeah. Yeah, which just made it more linear to promote. But it is
Yeah.
a good marketing tool, right?
100%.
Yeah, especially if the shorts are good. They even did that with cartoons, right? You watch a Disney movie and they would have a little Mickey Mouse cartoon
Oh
before,
yeah, I love those.
or a little short.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah, Disney still does that. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know if always, but they definitely often do throw a little short. But I think it's one off normally. They're not connected.
Yeah, they're not connected to each
Yeah.
other.
But it's
like
still a
serial.
cool idea.
But anyway, though, we went deep down a history of film.
I am surprised you guys have never seen those guys' faces, though.
I've seen one.
Yeah.
I've just seen one.
Yeah, because both are
and Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, both of those guys. Kevin Bacon's face is pretty famous too. But John Candy and them, like, one, they like in one sense they aged really really well and they aged really really bad depending on how you want to look at it because they look the same now as they did in this movie.
Yeah.
But that means that they were probably 30 in this movie and looked old as shit, and then they just stayed looking old as shit.
Yeah.
But both of them have been in fucking a trillion movies.
Yeah. Steve Martin just went gray really early.
Yeah. Yeah, because how old is he in this movie? He can't be that old. And I swear he looks very similar now.
He
He
looks
looks
be in
very-
his 40s for sure.
In the movie, you think?
I think so.
That's crazy. What do you think he is now then?
70 something.
Really? Yeah, maybe.
I read a note that he was at the time this was made 15 years older than the woman who was playing his wife.
Oh, interesting.
And if she's still alive, he's probably still 15 years older. Just how it works. I don't know. Just
Math.
math.
Quick math.
Yeah, he was born in
Quick math.
1945.
He might even look better now.
He might.
He looks
I
his
think he
actual
looks better,
age.
yeah.
Obviously, he's got some money and.
I don't know. Maybe if I see him in a movie right now, I'd be like, oh, I recognize him now. But watching it,
I just didn't watch many movies growing up.
yeah, I still don't watch a lot of movies.
He was in a really bad reboot of the Pink Panther franchise.
Oh, that's where I've seen him. My
Okay.
mom used to love Pink Panther.
Yeah,
I
same
knew
cat.
I recognized
Yeah,
him.
same
yeah,
cat.
yeah, yeah,
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah, yeah. It was, it was kind of a bad idea to reboot that one because it was very specific to the guy.
Yeah, the actor.
Yeah, that actor. Peter Sellers. I was getting Peter, and I was not thinking of Sellers. Anyway, what did you guys like most about it? If providing that you liked anything about it.
It's weird because I didn't hate it, but I don't know what I like about it. You know.
I would say it's very wholesome.
Yeah, it is very wholesome. I wasn't expecting the switch up at the end. I was just watching it and I was like, Avi said, because we were talking about it before, and she was like, yeah, I saw that coming halfway through.
I knew in the middle. I was like, dude, yeah, she's dead. She's dead.
I kind of predicted that too.
I didn't guess the homeless part. I was like, oh my God, he's dead, and her body's in that trunk. Because in the entire movie, I'm like,
Yeah.
what
They
is
did-
in that trunk?
Yeah.
And we've come back around to true crime.
Yes, that's actually what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, it's the true crime getting to me. But I'm like, are they ever going to show us what's in that trunk? Because it's played such a, you see it like
Yeah.
in the beginning, he trips over it,
Yeah.
and it comes back over and over again. And they make a big deal about hauling this heavy trunk, and it has stickers. So you remember what it looks like. And then I'm like, okay, what's the big deal? And towards the end, when he leaves the train and he leaves the guy, I'm like, and he's pulling it, I'm like, the body's in there. Like,
Trying to bury it somewhere.
I don't know how they would.
Go back to-
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna include that at the end, but like,
That would take a really dark twist.
that would
right?
be a
I'm like,
very
it's too
dark
late for a
twist.
dark twist now. Probably not it.
We should have said without too many spoilers that this movie is about a guy who works in advertising, and he's made a presentation in New York where the client can't make a decision about which model should be in which pictures for their I think it's a makeup product. And he's trying to get home for Thanksgiving. And it's like Tuesday of Thanksgiving week, and he's trying to make his plane. And like everything that could possibly go wrong in trying to get back to Chicago goes wrong,
Yeah.
including meeting John Candy's character, who apparently sells
Shower
curtain rings.
Yeah, rings.
Yes. And that's what's supposed to be in that giant trunk. I guess along with all of his possessions, because
Yeah,
he doesn't have a
probably.
home anymore.
He's a great
He just lives in
salesman, though.
hotels.
Yeah.
So
But how does he
amazing
live in
salesman.
hotels without?
Because they only cost fucking $20.
Yeah.
That stood out to me
Yeah.
too. Dude's checking in, it's like $40. I'm like, God damn. I can't get a hotel for
Bring that
fucking
back.
less than $200 now.
No, that's true. And no credit cards. He had no credit cards. They
Yeah.
said he had no credit cards. He ended up with, but he has a Diners Club card at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't even know what they were talking about. What the fuck's a gas card? That's a credit card that only works for gas?
Correct.
Yeah.
They
so-
still have those.
Really?
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
Costco and stuff like that has them, I think. Or am I tripping?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or is it just a credit card for Costco?
Costco has a credit card for Costco. I don't know
Oh,
that
okay,
they have a
okay.
separate gas card. Although you can get like a gas. I think you can get a gas
Like
gift
an allotment
card.
deal, yeah.
I thought they had.
Yeah, but no. Chevron still has credit cards.
Their own.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I feel I
um,
see less even Chevrons in general.
Yeah.
That's maybe true.
Yeah.
That's a thing that has changed a lot, I guess, is in the probably, I want to say 70s or 80s, the like Arco stations stopped taking credit cards.
Yeah,
And it's only recently that they started taking them again.
Even when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was debit only.
Yeah.
Middle of the night, I'm fucking broke trying to get some goddamn gas. Fucking rejecting my card over and over.
A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about. I don't remember what what thing we were talking about, but it has to do with like being broke as a younger person.
Yeah.
And I remember that in the broke days, that the sound that the ATM makes when it's going to spit money out was sort of the best sound in the world, because you were never quite sure what your balance was. You know, there was like no way to check your balance online because there wasn't an online to check your balance, and just that sounds like, oh, okay, so there's still $20 in there.
We got something going.
Now it's like an app, and then when it's loading, I'm like closing my eyes. I'm like, oh,
Like, please.
because it's the first thing you see once the screen loads. It's like, okay, it's not bad.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing that has changed. We're all, if we choose to be, are more on top of that now than we could be back then.
Much easier to look at when you got a lot of money.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had both.
Weird
I've been
flex.
up, down,
That's a
left,
weird
right,
flex.
and down again.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I've been
On
everywhere.
the way up, though. We're on
Yeah.
the way up.
Yeah.
On the way up.
Yeah.
So, what are you supposed to like about this movie?
Well, you're supposed to find it funny.
Yeah, why is
Oh.
it so iconic? Because it's not that funny.
I don't know. That's a really good question. I think
was
it's
stressed.
Have you heard of it before at least?
I've heard of it before.
Yeah.
It was like it sounded familiar, but then I realized
because it's
hadn't
iconic
watched.
as fuck. That
I haven't
name,
watched. Yeah.
all of it's iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when Jim said it yesterday,
We both.
we were like, wait a minute, I've heard of that.
No, it's
Yeah.
iconic, but I don't know why. I mean, both those actors are iconic. I understand why people would laugh at it. It's a lot for me to laugh. I think I mentioned this to Jim because we've done movies. When I'm by myself, I never laugh. If something's got to fucking go crazy,
That's so sad.
or in my head, I would be like, in my head would go haha, or my head would be like, oh, that's funny.
Haha.
yeah.
Yeah, hee hee, lol, lmao. I text myself in my brain.
Just LMAO,
Yeah, I just tweet in my own
LOL.
ecosystem up there. But and so there's moments in this, or the negative Mike would be like, oh, that's supposed to be funny, or
okay.
like analytically see it, like, oh, I understand that's a hit.
Was there any part in it that was funny for you? For me, I think I empathize too much. Like for one example, I hate watching videos of people getting hurt, like gym fails, all those. Like I hate them. This one, I was just.
But you don't mind people dying?
No, no. I'm kidding. I empathize
Can't
with
see
this.
someone stub their toe, but if they get murdered over and over, I find great pleasure in this.
That's a whole nother thing. But I empathize with the, I guess, what is it, protagonist in this case?
Yes.
With him too much. And I was like, dude, in the first 10 minutes, everything that goes wrong, I'm like, I would have already lost my shit. Like, to me, this guy has so much patience. Like, I do not.
What would you do IRL if some of that happens to you?
I would just be, let's see, the part where he gets a rental car and he gets to the parking lot and the car isn't there and then the bus drives away, so he's stranded. That's how I would react in the first 10 minutes. Like, yeah, I'm just throwing
going crazy.
Yeah, I already don't. I get stressed in these situations when it's like, it's a time crunch. You got to make the plane. And I stress so much about that
I think
stuff.
I'm pretty cool in those spots.
I was literally just talking to Avi about this. I was like, I don't know why, but I love that. The adrenaline rush that you get, I'm just like,
I don't really get adrenaline, but
I do.
I'm pretty chill from it.
I love it.
People like that piss me off pretty bad. And obviously this is an extreme case, but like people trying to talk to you and shit. I told when we were traveling to Texas with all of them, I was like, bro, I normally travel alone. And just so you guys know, as soon as I'm through security, I got big ass headphones on and my hoodie on so no one talks to me. But I was obviously with them. So I'm like, all right, they're like, I'll keep my headphones off to talk to y'all. But normally I'm, don't talk to me mode. And not because like, I'm negative or one, I'm a little bit antisocial. I just don't want to talk to people. And then two, I don't know. Some people do like to just chop your ear off to waste time, and I hate that.
Small talk.
Yeah. And on a plane, there's no shot.
I think when you travel so much, it makes sense to like not want to interact, because you do it a couple times in the beginning when you first start traveling, and then after a few times you're like, I'm never going to see, like, these conversations are just a waste of energy.
Some people love it though.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Some people just be chopping it up for no reason.
Yeah, this is my fourth time traveling or flying, and the people behind me were doing that, and I'm like, just
You didn't want to chop it
Yeah,
up.
mean mugging them.
No, it's just like, oh, I get it now. It's kind of like this conversation is gonna mean nothing at the end of the day.
I wonder if some of it has to do with your job too, where me and Kyle, I'll chop it up with like local stuff. Like me and Kyle get coffee every Sunday together.
yeah.
It's our little mandate. And we'll chop it up with the coffee folks, you
Yeah.
know? And they'll be like, oh, because we all kind of in a way work in customer service. So I
Right.
wonder if that makes you not want to talk to people while you're schmobbing around.
Mhm.
Or if you don't get that interaction normally, you're just like, say you're a programmer and you're just working with ones and O's all day.
Yeah.
And now you get on an airplane, now you're trying to do that small
Yeah.
talk. But like
Mhm.
part of all of our jobs is small talk.
That's what
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I think it's because the job that you have.
Yeah.
You talk to so many people.
Mhm.
I just did that last night. I don't know. I was on some fucking crazy boy shit, and I was trying to. I don't know when it popped up. I think I was watching a live stream or something. I was watching
Oh,
Kai,
Kai?
and
Yeah.
he said something about text or something about his phone blowing up, and he's like, everyone's on do not disturb, but you motherfuckers aren't even getting like text that much or something. And I was like, I wonder how many messages I get a day. So I counted my text from one day, and then counted my DMs from one day. I didn't count my emails because that would be absurd. But I was already sitting way more than I thought. I was sitting at like 50.
Damn.
I was like, yeah, that's a good amount of fucking shit I got.
Are there individual texts from the same people, or
No.
Nah.
New.
50 people.
50 people DM and text me a day.
oh good
That's a lot.
God,
I mean, that was
combined?
yesterday. That was just yesterday.
I don't get that. Thank God.
Yeah, that was just
I
yesterday.
I don't.
Mm.
I think that's probably why, because I don't get that much. So like people engage me in DMs or whatever. I'm usually open to talk to them unless they're just being fucking weird or
Mhm.
they're clearly a bot, which has been happening a
No,
lot.
these
lately.
are just ones I answered.
Oh, good lord.
Oh shit.
There's some weird ones, or these are ones that I had like I responded to,
Okay.
or like y'all, like obviously the
Yeah.
work group text that counted,
Yeah.
you know, like shit like that.
Do
Let alone, yeah, there's probably 10 or 20 that were just like random comments I wouldn't even know how to answer.
Is there ever a time in the airport where somehow you don't have your headphones on and someone catches, like, they start a conversation with you? Like, how do you get out?
I don't know, because you guys know me, like I can talk.
He
Like,
looked scared for a second.
I don't know how to explain to people because like I'm actually antisocial, but it is one of my skills, I think, to talk to people. Or maybe I'm wrong, because maybe people don't perceive that I have a skill to talk to people, but I
No,
do.
You can you
yeah,
can talk.
yeah, I think I can jab with anybody. So like part of the issue is I hate not being nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. This is probably, if you guys want to go deep into psychotherapy, it's probably not a good thing overall to feel like a people pleaser. But like part of it comes from a quote that I still live by, and it was a big sports quote for me. And I think it was Pete Rose. Might be wrong. But I believe it was like they were interviewing him. They say, why do you go so hard on every single play? And he said, well, there's some kid in the audience that's never seen me play before. And I think it had something to do with like I think he sprinted on like a home run or something. He's just fucking sprinting his tits off, or like it was like a free base, and he still sprinted his tits off.
I think it was Pete Rose, but his nickname was Charlie Hustle, and that's
Yeah,
exactly
so
why.
probably
Yeah.
why.
So-
And so I like that in sports, and I live by that in sports.
Mhm.
Because you just never know who's in the audience. You never,
True.
and same thing in life, like networking and shit. You just never know who's listening, or you never know who you're talking to. Like I could be talking to the owner of Coca-Cola, and now they want to sponsor me because I was so nice, or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, or I'm just it's some dickhead. But either way, I always have that kind of people pleaser in my head. So I think I probably chop it up with them. It did happen. Shout out to my dude. He's probably listening. It was really late night flight home. I don't know where I was, Vegas or LA. It's like 10. I'm landing at like 11 at night. I'm already, filmed the whole trip, so I'm already
Yeah.
drained.
Oh.
And then I'm like literally like opening a bag of Cheez-Its, and some dude comes and says what's up, and I think he listens to the podcast.
Yeah, okay.
And I chopped it up with him as long as I could. And then it got awkward because it was like that, oh, great to meet you, man. See you later. And then he gets in line for my same plane. I'm like, oh, shit, here we go.
I hate those.
Yeah, here we go. It's like goodbye, and then you walk the same direction.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I just talked to him. And people don't understand. Like I got these big ass headphones on silent mode. I can't hear you, but they'll still talk to you, even though I got bitch face on.
Yeah.
I just talk to him.
Yeah, because he kind of says that in the movie. He's like, sorry, I'm not really a big
Yeah,
I'm
talker.
talking. Yeah.
I don't really do that.
Okay.
I've never really said that.
Yeah.
And it's
I probably
interesting
should.
too because he's supposed to be a salesman. I mean, basically.
But maybe that's exactly like what we're talking about, right?
He just
Like that
does-
he does it for a living, so he doesn't
So-
want the small
Yeah.
talk.
As a
Where
salesperson.
Candy's fucking homeless, fool can't talk to nobody,
And
so he
he's
gets on a
like-
plane. How's a homeless man get on a plane?
That's what I was thinking.
But
where was
Plot
he
hole.
going?
yeah,
Exactly.
but then he gets on a plane and then he wants to talk to everybody because he's alone all day.
Yeah.
He wasn't like living on the streets homeless. He was like
Right.
not having a home. homeless.
Nomadic.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Nomadic.
guess so.
So the original I was reading deep into this. The original cut of this film was like 3 hours long.
No,
I even felt it was a little long.
And
Towards the end-
they cut it down to 2 hours, and then they got it down to an hour and a half. So they lost a bunch of story.
Yeah.
And the original cut of the movie, John Candy goes home and he's alone, and they recut it so that Steve Martin comes back and gets him, and you find out that he doesn't have anywhere to go and all that stuff.
Yeah. Wholesome.
Yeah. So the footage of Steve Martin on the train going back to get him is from another part of the. It's like a deleted scene from another part of the movie. Yeah, reworked into it. So it wasn't always going to end like that. You weren't always going to find out that
he's all crying, and the wifey's crying.
Yeah.
The little kids are showing up.
What was the ending supposed to be with the other one?
It was supposed to be just like sad. They went off to.
He opened his trunk and different bloody body parts.
Yeah.
That's
He was just like, I love my wife so much, I carry her in this trunk.
That was the
Digging up the
extent.
grave.
It was a sequel to Rear Window. But
Yeah, she died 8 years ago,
Yeah.
but she's here with me.
Yeah.
This is just a better picture of her.
You're sick.
The stench that you gotta come off that trunk. 8 years.
Yeah.
No one on the plane noticed that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He found a way. He found a way. It's
Threw
just
air-
wrapped in a lot
black
of
ice in there.
Yeah, there's
He
something.
did it like the bodies exhibit.
Yeah, but no, definitely towards the end.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But towards the end, when they take their last whatever car, train, whatever it was to the train station.
It was a train, an automobile, or a plane.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I was like, how much more of this movie is? How many more fuck ups is there?
Yeah, how many
And
more
I
trains
checked-
are there?
That's when I checked the like, what is it that? How much longer we
The
have in the movie?
runtime, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is it. Like that's it. Because I was like, how many more? I get it. Like I get the point. Like
Yeah.
this guy has the worst luck. I understand.
Yeah, I don't know about comedies like that because sometimes I've liked them, but like Ben Stiller's comedies always seem to be that way, where like just everything goes wrong
Yeah.
type shit. Sometimes I can't deal with like the cringe or like the
But see, that's my issue with The Office. I can't deal with the cringe.
Yeah.
I had a hard time for sure.
Yeah, it has my teeth
but
on edge
New
the whole
Girl on
time.
the other hand,
It's funny.
Absolute genius.
It is.
genius,
It is.
genius in
You
a
just
script.
you gotta watch an episode with me. And
I gotta watch New Girl,
I'll
and I
point it
gotta
out.
watch a bunch of murder things, and then
Yeah, then you'll
Is
understand.
it
Then I'll
every
understand the women's
episode that
psyche.
Avi's on. Do you bring up New Girl?
New Girl
Every
Yeah,
single
yeah.
episode?
She loves it. She'll be quoting it like, you know that.
Is this
Like,
old
fuck
New
no.
Girl or New Girl?
What's old new girl?
Was it? Isn't
How old is New?
which one am I thinking of? The one that? Okay,
Within like 10 years.
yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't there a new one?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
That'd
What's the?
Avi? Is
Yeah,
there a new one?
Deschanel, who's only good in the shower singing with Elf.
Deschanel with the glasses and the bangs.
Yeah, she's only good in Elf singing.
What is it?
Baby,
what is
it's
the show
cold
that they
outside.
recently rebooted, and
I don't think this ever got rebooted.
okay,
I think it's a brand new deal.
I'm thinking of something else, but it's another show that was popular, like probably. It was probably ending when New Girl started. It was like Gossip Girl. That's
Oh,
what-
Gossip Girl.
yeah,
I
they
have
rebooted
watched.
Gossip Girl, and there's no girl. It's all the fucking
Gossip Boys.
It's the faculty of the school that does the gossip.
Certain eras just piss me off, and like this John Candy one's wholesome and it's whatever. It doesn't piss me off, but I don't love it. But the New Girl era she kind of does too. What's the fucking nerd show?
Big Bang Theory. Big
Yeah.
Bang Theory. That's just trash.
Oh yeah, I
All
don't.
that
I don't love.
Trash.
All that
How
stuff.
about Modern Family?
Yeah, all that stuff can just go down the garbage disposal
I
for
don't
all
know.
I care.
Yeah.
I get why you hate it,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of fans out there.
But then there's other ones that I love and people may hate. Like I think Home Improvement's fucking hilarious. I don't know why, dude. Just like how like dumbly masculine Tim Allen tries to be
I don't
cracks
know.
me up.
How about
And people could say that's stupid too, so I get it.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia or something.
Yeah, I've heard it's good, but it's not my cup of tea.
Oh. Community.
No, none of that. I
Community
don't know
isn't
why
bad.
sitcoms hit me really wrong.
Yeah, but New Girl's different.
No, it's not.
It's hilarious.
It's not. And again, like you could watch Home Improvement and be like, Mike, you're an idiot. And I'll
Yeah,
be like,
but
all right, that's
you
fair.
watch it.
But I love Tim Allen for some reason.
What you guys think of the music? I was listening.
Yeah. Fuck, dude. I wanted to comment on the music too, but I forgot. Oh, the beginning music is literally just like SoundCloud Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's just like the shittiest Michael Jackson like fake.
and they every time you go away,
Shunk, shunk,
is it-
shunk, ding, ding, dong, bing, ding, dong, dong, ding, dong, dong. It's like Smooth Criminal, but just like added notes.
Like mixed it.
Yeah, so
like
they don't get
mixed
sued.
it. Yeah.
So I don't know for sure. I feel like the music like in the original release and maybe on the like if you had a VHS of it or whatever was like the original music or like the real music
was actually Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and I think I don't know about Michael Jackson, but I know that Every Time You Go Away was original. And not the what happened. Apparently, they commissioned Elton John to write a song for this movie, and before he had written it before he recorded it though. They told him that the studio was going to own the rights to the music, and he said, "Fuck no."
What's funny is like how that in its time was a big budget film.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
But then there's only 2 fucking actors, a Chrysler fucking convertible top, and like fake airplanes.
Yeah, well here's why, because no transportation company wanted to be their
like
brand to be involved in this movie at all,
which I don't blame them.
So they had to make up a car rental company.
Sure.
They had to rent 200 cars to put in that lot.
Right.
They had to do like logos and
it's 199 cars.
All that. Yeah, exactly. All that. All the counter where he says "fuck" 19 times to Edie McClurg.
The fucking car right fucking now.
That's
you liked it.
Yeah, that one was like, yes, go off on her.
that part of the script is why Steve Martin did the movie. Like he said, he read the whole thing. He said, "Are you going to change anything? Are you going to cut anything?" And they said no. And he said, "Okay, I'll do it."
Yeah,
because he loved that part.
Yeah,
her part was all improv, but his part was totally scripted.
Her part was great because at the end she's like, "Oh, you're fucked." I'm like, yes.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I love that.
She's in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She's the school secretary in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, very secretary, very front desk, customer service lady.
Yeah.
Vibes.
Poor thing's got the same role everywhere. The other big thing is I already just mentioned it, but like how there's like no one in the movie. It's literally just them 2.
That's true.
Yeah,
like the entire movie.
Oh, I was gonna say they had to buy a train too.
Oh, yeah.
They literally had to buy that train
wild.
and paint it. It's still sitting in fucking Illinois somewhere
Just in the middle where it stopped on the tracks.
Pretty much.
That's wild.
So yeah, there's not really that many people in the movie that would, because like Kevin Bacon's in one scene, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not really in the movie.
What scene was he? Was it the beginning?
Very beginning.
He's the guy. He's trying to get the. He's trying to race to the taxi.
Yeah, the first taxi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Was Kevin Bacon famous at the time?
Ish.
Yeah, but not as famous. Obviously.
Not as
now
famous
he's
as he
famous
got.
as fuck.
Don't people hate him?
I don't know.
No, I think people like him. It's just that there's a whole, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing. You guys heard that?
No.
Like crispy?
Crispy. No, it's how many actors or people in a movie or whatever does it take to get from one person to Kevin Bacon?
And he's in every movie basically.
Because he's in every movie. Yeah. I think my Bacon number is like 2.
Yeah.
Because I'm in Bigger, Stronger, Faster, and there's somebody in Bigger, Stronger, Faster that's in a movie with somebody
Bacon.
that was in a movie with Kevin Bacon.
My Bacon's probably 6. That number's had to change, right? The 6.
Yeah.
Like with the internet.
Yeah, it changes. Yeah, there's still a site called Oracle of Bacon where you can.
No, not Kevin Bacon. I just mean the concept of 6 separations to get to anyone on Earth kind of deal, right? Wasn't that was the thing?
Yeah.
It has to be way down now with the internet.
Probably so.
Because that's been around forever. The 6. You've heard that?
Yeah, I think they do it now with like other gaming titles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where they start on a Wikipedia. And they're like, how long it takes me to get to
X
that's
place.
Cool. Yeah,
that's cool. But to people now, it has to be like 4 max.
Yeah, I think that's probably
because the world is so small with the internet.
Right.
True.
Mm-hmm.
We could probably get Zoe Deschanel on the show.
That's what I was gonna say. You always say,
what would you
like,
do?
A sidestep.
I don't know. Sometimes you don't want to. You want to keep that relationship.
They say never meet your heroes.
Yeah, but
you
also,
think
like,
she sucks?
No, I don't think she sucks. It's just like that's our relationship is me watching you on this show, and you could stay that way. It's just like sometimes you meet people on Instagram, and then when you meet in person, you aren't.
Are you throwing
as, like,
shade
friendly.
right now?
No, it's just like this is we connect a lot on social media, and then in person, it's like we're like crossing this line,
and they
you
suck.
know, they don't suck.
Zoe sucks.
I'm not saying that you meet them and they suck. I'm just like our relationship, our communication is built on social media, just like back and forth messages, and then in person it's like we kind of have less to say. you know?
You
don't know.
hate all my YouTube friends I introduced you to. That's what you're trying to say right now.
Oh my God! Why
That's
are
crazy.
you trying to get me canceled? I am never coming back on here.
You don't
You're
like
trying to
Barquan.
twist all my words.
You don't like Barquan.
No, that is absolutely
JPG
not true.
is the worst.
That's
No.
crazy.
Here's the thing, right? If I actually never talked to JP or like watched a lot of his videos, and then we met in person, and that's how we became friends. It doesn't have to be like one or the other.
And he
you know what I
sucked.
mean? No.
You didn't watch
Like,
his content, and he still sucked.
No, we met, and that's how we became like we got along and we had good conversations. So
Wow. So it's just Bark one that sucks.
it's just different. It's just different media. Like,
All right, I'll stop introducing you to cool people.
oh my gosh.
I think are you more talking about people that you just had very small little conversations with, and then you meet on social media, and then you meet them in person, and then you don't know, like
It's just almost like the opposite, where we are super like close on internet, what it seems.
Yeah, and you
then
meet them,
in
they're
person,
duds.
Yeah, not duds, but it's like, okay, like that's how much more supportive can you be in person? You know, it's like very supportive on social media, and I don't know, it's hard to explain, but just it's not always,
Have you had the experience, Ed, of meeting people who just follow you online and you've never had a conversation with them, and then they come up and talk to you?
Yes, there are some who are like, they just talk to me as if we know each other, and I'm like, oh my god, I should know this person, but I can't, like, I don't know what their name is, but then they just have a casually like,
Do you follow them?
Where's so and so? I'm like, I don't know.
I told you all that, where for the first like 10 years on like Instagram and shit, I only followed people I'd met in person.
You told me that too.
Yeah, because I didn't want to
Make it look weird.
Yeah, people thought it was like a pretentious thing, but I was like, nah, like, because then if I see you in person, then it's fucking weird, for you, or weird for me. Where if we met in person, then we follow each other. Now we like no, we've at least shook hands. It doesn't have to be best friends, but we like shook hands at an event or something. And then now it's a little bit different, just because I need to network more and to start that networking. But
There was this one moment where at the Corrupted meet, this I kept making eye contact with this girl, but she had a really serious look on her face. She kept turning around, and then I was like, okay, did I do something? Like, I hope I'm not, like making a bad reputation. And then I see her friend like sneaks a photo of me, and then and I'm like,
you
oh
told me
my
that.
god,
That's creepy.
I told you guys, I was like, oh my god, what did I do? I'm about to be put on blast, get canceled. And
you
then
had
later,
a booger out. Your boogers, you just had a booger hanging out. Your nose.
and then but later on, she talks to me outside, and she's like, "Oh my god, I was like, did I do something?" She's like, "No, I'm making sure that it was you." She's like, "Are you Avi? Like, I'm a fan." I was like, "Okay, thank God," because I was worried for a second. But that was mostly it. I haven't had any bad encounters with people yet.
I never had any bad ones, but I always it does get awkward though, because you're not really sure exactly what to say if the conversation continues to go on.
Right.
It's like,
cut it, nip it in the bud and
say
run.
hi, nice to meet you. And if you have something interesting to say that you would think that I would find interesting, not just that you find interesting, please feel free to engage me in conversation. But otherwise,
Right.
it's hard because I'm not that outgoing.
Yeah.
I'm like Mike. I'm not going out to try to have conversations with people. My wife is entirely the opposite. She'll talk to fucking anybody about anything, and she's like collecting those experiences. That's like enriches her life to talk to people who've done different things.
Yeah.
Me, it's like it's work.
Yeah.
Well,
It's work to talk to somebody that
They're
I don't
probably,
know.
if they do follow us or you or whatever, they're probably more excited off the rip than you are.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like I match their energy, right? Like, oh,
I
like
try.
this-
Yeah.
And then what do you say? Like, unless they start talking about something else,
Yeah.
like bringing up a different topic, it's kind of like we're just standing there like,
Just
okay, well,
awkwardly,
thanks.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a
great
good to meet
meeting
you and you move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to match energy with being as genuine as I can, which is hard.
Right.
Like homeboy that came up at the comedy show,
Oh,
like
yeah.
he was
yeah.
just so stoked. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to be stoked for you, but
He was like, yeah, you changed my brother's life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you guys, but that's the thing, right?
yeah.
He did bring up other topics
Yeah.
for you to like
Yeah.
That is true.
talk about, and
I tried.
yeah.
Just awkward, Mikey.
Yeah, so
Wasn't bad.
well, we have a little bit of
not
imposter
really.
syndrome too. It's like hard to like accept that kind of,
Responsibility almost.
But yeah, when you don't feel it the same as them, obviously, because I'm not
Yeah.
doing it, despite
Them making they want you to feel.
Yeah,
like-
and I'm pretty empathetic human, but yeah, you can never like fully feel in like a 4-minute conversation that this dude has watched me potentially for a decade.
Do you think about it later on, like imagine trying to put yourself in their shoes
Yeah,
to
I've
feel
talked-
the impact?
Yeah, I've talked about that too with Jim, at least on the podcast, where like I've never had, even though I like grew up a Jordan fan and stuff, like I never like had heroes like that. All my heroes have always been fake.
Ooh.
Like
Like
fucking
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
No, that was good though, because he is fake. More in the terms of sci-fi. So like Yoda
Oh, like
and like
Star
Rafiki
Wars.
and like those are the people I looked up to, like Qui-Gon Jinn and shit. I looked up to like stuff like that growing
Nerd.
up. Spider-Man. Like, those guys were, you know, like if I met Spider-Man, I'd probably freak out. But like I grew up watching Stone Cold Steve Austin like crazy with my dad every single fucking Thursday. And then I sat in his kitchen and he made me espresso. You know what I mean?
So
and
how did that feel?
It totally normal because he wasn't like my hero.
But he's also a
is.
super normal guy.
He's very normal, but he wasn't like my hero. That's why. You know what I mean? Where like if Spider-Man made me an espresso, little Mikey would be fucking trying to hang from the ceiling. You know, I'd try to climb a wall or something.
I will say that my experience with Stone Cold though was that he talked shit to me the entire time. Just went at it, man.
Just
he
gassing?
just talked
He
shit.
roasted you?
Totally.
Was it a great experience for
Oh,
you?
no, it was a good experience because you know who he is.
Was
like,
it an honor?
I mean,
an honor to be roasted
I wasn't like a huge fan going in or anything like that. I just
Rotisserie
I
chicken.
think I'm more of a fan of the guy than the character.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. With him, it's cool because they are kind of the same.
Yeah, they are kind of the same, except that like it's not. The character's more extreme.
Yeah,
he's
kind of a heel.
He's just kind of a regular guy.
But like all that stuff. Like I was really into wrestling, but none of those guys. So I can't really put myself in their shoes, you know, because there's no one. Or NBA players, like I was a huge Bulls fan, and I was a huge fan of the Derrick Rose era, which is like the next time the Bulls were good after Jordan, which was when I was in high school. And then I become friends with Luol Deng, who I played in video games. Like I draft, you know, I don't know if you guys ever play 2K or some of those games. I would do like the full draft, so the entire NBA scrambled, and you'd choose your whole team. I would always fucking take Luol, and then now I'm in his living room.
What was that like?
Normal, because one, Luau's cool, and then two, those guys weren't like my heroes. Some of it's probably my ego, where like I thought I was going to the NBA, so I was like, oh, I'll just be one of the guys. And then same with like acting or whatever. I always wanted to be on TV or movies or whatever, and so like in my head I was like, oh, like, you know what I mean? I like normalize it because for 20 plus years of my life I saw myself there. I visualized myself doing that. You know what I mean? So it became normal to me.
It trips me out though. Like, I don't know how you feel, but Tim Thibodeau and I we're talking about like the trip we're on in Austin and just hanging out with everyone. How like surreal it feels. Like we can't in this moment really grasp like how grateful we are to be around the people that we're around. You know, like you never have those.
Yeah, but I think that's a little different than being like celebrity starstruck.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Like being grateful, I'm also not good at, and I try because I just don't like. Not because I'm ungrateful, but because I'm not good at being present, or like I'm decent at being present, I think, but I'm not good at like soaking in the moment, which I think are different. I think I'm good at being present, but I'm not good at soaking in the moment.
Why?
I don't know, because I'm like a visualizer. I'm a dreamer, so I'm always looking to the future.
Yeah, just looking on to the next moment.
Yeah, I'm always on to the next.
That's why I take those moments.
No, I'm not saying it's good at what I do.
Yeah,
Everything I talk about myself is probably not good. It's just how I'm built. You know, it's just how I am. And until it's like a huge detriment, it's probably something I won't change because I think there are benefits to certain things.
Yeah.
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean? If you're
Just don't
always
be caught
present, then I think you'll never like go crazy for the future. You know,
Yeah.
you'll never dream too big. But
It's
then,
always about the balance. Right?
for sure,
Mhm.
for sure. You've been like starstruck with the guys. Like I've told Sebastian post, but like I purposely tried to shove him in Bart's car one time just to like get him like shocked a little bit, see what's going on. Like I think it was when we were at USAPL Nats, and like I was like, oh yeah, we'll go with Nadeem. I was like, oh, Bart's got room, yeah, Seabass, just roll with him or whatever, you know, because I knew he grew up like watching him. I was like, yeah. And Bart's like my best friend, so I knew it would go well, and so I shoved him in that situation to kind of stir it up a little bit.
Yeah.
True.
Have you ever get starstruck like that? Like I know you watched Bart and them.
Right. Not necessarily. I really do. Or I don't try too hard, but I keep my cool because they are just normal people.
Nonchalant.
It is just like when I step away from that scene where I'm like, wow, putting things into perspective. You know, like that's kind of crazy just how I ended up in this position. But in those moments, I'm never really like I'm not trying to be weird. I'm trying to have a normal conversation. So.
And you guys are kind of lucky in a sense where
Yeah.
I've like kind of like blazed the trail. So like you're meeting people that I've already filtered.
Oh, like not. Yeah.
You know
that
what I
makes
mean?
sense.
Like even JP. Like JP's been a buddy of mine for like a year now, and then even though you didn't watch his content, like JP is one of the biggest dudes in fitness right now. So for you guys to meet JP after he's already like my friend, like
Yeah.
how we're in our group chat and we talk every day.
Right.
Me and JP talked every day, anyways.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he already messaged me like every single day for a year.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of hate that he's obviously like so big right now, and I met him, and I'm like, he's actually so cool.
Yeah, JP's great.
No,
Yeah.
but it's like, everyone.
You want him not to be popular and
No.
thriving? That's
It's just like
fucked.
if
JP, did you hear that?
If I told people like, oh, JP's actually a really cool person, they'd be like, yeah, he's JP. Of course you think he's cool. But it's like, no,
they're gonna think you're clout chasing.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's like I'm never putting myself I'm never trying to reach into other into circles and like force my way through. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then I don't want to be like the person who's like, oh, she's just trying to clout chase.
That is crazy that you're clout chasing someone.
Oh my God.
So just real quick, what was your Seabass? What was your response to being thrown in with Bart into his car?
I mean, even like when I first met Mike, when I first came here, 2 years ago. Damn, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
I was like right here against this wall, and I was like, yo, that's Mike, because I used to watch him. I used to watch him on JK, and I would watch a couple of his videos, and then I would watch Bart too, and I would watch, like I said, JK and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of like, wait a minute, what's really going on right now? It kind of felt like a dream, and then it just turned into like,
a nightmare.
No, it turned into a nightmare. No, and then I was like, oh, Bart's just like a normal person.
Yeah, Bart's just like
you keep your cool too.
Yeah, I try to keep my cool. I'm like, oh,
I didn't know you
everybody-
even knew who I was. I gave him and Eddie the tour of the gym.
Yeah.
And I just thought they were just some powerlifting kids.
You also asked me that too. You're like, did you know who I was? I'm like, yeah, I knew, but I didn't show it.
But you were screaming huge.
Maybe
when I
you
pulled
don't know who I
705.
am. But
Avi was a huge fan, watching me pull 705 front row. I remember you front row now.
No.
from
Yep,
picture,
screaming
Yeah.
your face off like you're an AC/DC concert.
I had a cutout of your face on a car, and I was like waving it. I was like, go Mike!
Yeah, I was dope.
Sorry, Mike.
all right, so I know that Avi's got a heart out because she's got a client here in a minute.
Yeah.
But so we try to always rate these movies based on a scale that I come up with in the course of watching the movie. And I'm going to say we're going to rate it this time in terms of shower curtain rings. So with 5 being best and 1 being worst.
Go, Avi. You got to go first.
I'll give it a 3 shower curtain rings out of 5. It was cool. It was like cool, but I'm not gonna watch it again.
For a movie from 1987, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
From
It's
a
older
person.
than me.
That's really old. That's jeez, yeah.
Dinosaur ages.
I would have never watched it if you
35-year-old movie.
guys mention it. Yeah, 3.
What you got, Seabass?
I was gonna give it a 3 too. 3 shower curtain rings.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 2.5 just to be different.
What about 2.75?
I'll give it
pessimist.
2.75. Yeah.
I'm giving it 2 shower rings. That's 1 shower rod, right?
What?
That's just how the math
Just
works.
it's just on. The curtains are on.
Yeah.
You have the curtains
Yeah,
on.
that's
the rod.
it's
That's
enough.
about it.
Yeah.
I get it because they're both iconic and I think they're good, but I still don't really understand why this movie's, because I've heard of this movie forever. Like, it's iconic. That, like Animal House, like some of the ones you brought up are like iconic fucking films.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. And if I knew why, maybe I would give it a 3.
Animal House is funnier. for
Animal House
sure.
is good.
Yeah.
I've seen that. That was one of my dad's favorites.
Yeah.
If you ask me in the future if I'm gonna show this to my kids, I'm probably not.
Probably not.
Damn.
Probably not.
Yeah,
So
I
that
wish-
was an announcement. Seabass is going to have kids.
I do
If
wish
I do
it
have
had a little
kids.
more Thanksgiving to it.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
because
true.
there's only Thanksgiving at the end.
Yeah,
the
I
very,
do
very
like.
end.
I don't know why I like that kind of shit. Like Home Alone, when he's running around the city, it feels like Christmas.
Like
Christmas.
Yeah, like I like that.
Yeah. It's probably about a 3.5 at this point. I mean, I never totally loved this movie. It's just a classic. I don't know. It's hard to draw that distinction. Like, what makes it a classic and why is it classic to me? I don't watch it every year, but I think I do actually maybe own a copy of it because for a while it was hard to find.
Yeah.
It was very streamable this time. Obviously.
And then like what you like, and then why it's iconic, or you know what I mean. I've talked about that a lot too. Where like if someone's 30 years old right now, we talked about this a lot on the trip with that because everyone we were with were big anime heads.
Uh-huh.
I said, look, I love Star Wars, but if someone's 30 and they've never watched Star Wars, I'm not going to tell them, hey, this is the greatest thing you're about to ever see.
No, because it's totally
They might
totally
not like
different
it.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They might hate it.
Yeah.
Any of them, old, new, doesn't matter. You might hate this, but I love this.
Yeah.
Or Lord of the Rings is a little different, I think. I think that one still kind of hits if you can get the patience through it, regardless of your age. Because that's what I was asking them. I was like, all right, I never seen anime. I'm 34.
Uh-huh.
What anime would I watch? And I'll be like, all right, I understand you fucking nerds right now. You know, and they all argued over that. But because sometimes, like, The kids have never seen like Waterboy. The kids have never seen like Waterboy and all that stuff. Happy Gilmore or like Happy Gilmore.
I've seen Happy Gilmore. I've seen Happy Gilmore. Yeah.
Then you guys are
really.
But I knew one of them. You guys. But I knew one of them. You guys.
Okay, but I watched Happy Gilmore. Okay, but I watched Happy Gilmore. Like maybe this year.
Oh, really?
Maybe this year.
You know what I mean? So I understand. You know what I mean? So I understand if people don't like that either. Where like I watched it in high school and I think
I just think it's entertaining. I just think it's entertaining.
That doesn't make you LOL.
Like
that doesn't make you LOL.
I think it's funny. No, I think it's funny. Such a like it's obviously such a and it seems like Adam Sandler and it seems like Adam Sandler just bored, so he's gonna make a movie. I like that vibe. Just so chill. I like that vibe. Just so chill.
Happy Gilmore? I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like if you but you know what I mean? Like if you that's good that you like it. Because I wouldn't say like everyone's gonna love this.
What do you like
about it?
At the time,
bro, there's some at the time, bro, there's some funny ass things. Just like how obnoxious he is. Just like how obnoxious he is. How he's just hitting the fucking guy that has like construction guy that has like giants.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So here's a question. So here's a question. Did you see the post credit? Did you see the post credit scene?
Oh, this?
Yes.
No, I think my thing automatically. No, I think my thing automatically shut down. Yeah, I don't think I did.
Oh, I didn't.
There's a post credit scene. There's a post credit where it sets up a whole universe. Where it sets up a whole universe of. No, I'm kidding.
Doctor Strange.
No,
Doctor Strange.
No. It's the client from the beginning of the movie is sitting at the desk, sitting at the desk, and there's still got the things, and there's a fucking turkey. There's a whole Thanksgiving dinner on his desk, and he's still trying to. And I think that this part of the reason this movie is that one scene where they're in the bed together, sitting in the bed together. So why are you holding? Why are you holding?
Yeah. He's like, did you just kiss my ear? He's like, did you just kiss my ear? He's like,
where's your other hand? Where's your other hand? It's between two pillows. Those aren't pillows. That is like the most iconic. And it's not the one that really. And it's not the one that really made me laugh. The trunk was flying over, and the trunk flying over, and their skeletons, and the devil costume. It just fucking killed me this time. It just fucking killed me this time because I totally forgot. 3.5. 3.5. I fine. Maybe I probably enjoyed it right now because I just watched all of Only Murders in the Building and Only Murders in the Building and Steve Martin is very good in that.
Murders.
So anyway, all right.
Murders.
All right.
Plug away, dude. Where can people find Plug away, dude.
On Instagram at avi.lu. Where else?
Third Street Barbell. Third Street Barbell.
Oh yeah, just find me at Third Street Barbell. Just find me at Third Street Barbell. Somewhere. Twitch, it's somewhere.
Maybe.
It's whatever. Yeah.
Maybe.
Whatever.
Firearm Seabass. Where can people find Firearm Seabass. Where can people find you?
On Instagram, Sebastian_brand.
Ladies and gentlemen, brand new episodes every Wednesday and Friday. Thank you so much for listening. Share this out. Be sure to tell your friends. Share this out on socials. Like everyone want to find me. Hopefully new drop. Hopefully this is this Wednesday. This is this Wednesday. If you join Discord, you will get the drop. If you join Discord, you will get the drop. So this weekend, top secret. So you got to be in Discord. Early drops. You got to be in Discord. Everybody else drops. Who knows? Everybody else. Who knows when you're going to get it? If you're part of the Discord crew, you're going to get early access to the drop. Early access to the drop. Head to 50%facts.com and join the Discord.
I imagine the Jim McD on all the social media. We're doing some social media. changes here. So the gym was Third Street Barbell and with a 3, and if you join that, you'll now see that it's good company 3SB. Company 3SB. There's a new Instagram coming, separate Instagram coming, which will word the gym itself. Hopefully, everything works out. Everything works out. Be Third Street Barbell again with a 3. Because we need to do some local promotion. Those of you around the world, who followed us closely, a lot of the content there is lifting and lifting. May or may not be in our gym. This allows us to target our audience a little bit more closely. This show is 50% facts. 50 is just numbers. 50 is just numbers. Spreaker Facts is a Spreaker Prime association with on the iHeartMedia Celebrity Network. And we'll talk to you next time. The one that has the toe warmers?
No, that was Kyle.
It's Kyle?
It's in the box. I did.
Yes.